Morning girls, and welcome to the summer term co-curricular assembly. So today we're going to have a little look at some of the clubs that are on offer. However, what we're really going to look at is actually what is the point of doing clubs in the first place. Now, before I actually talk to you about clubs, I'm going to talk to you about Leicester City Football Club. Now, for those of you that know me, you will know that I absolutely hate football. Unfortunately, I do happen to know quite a lot about Leicester City Football Club, as my household are massive supporters. So, in the 2015-2016 season, British bookmakers listed Leicester City as 5,000 to 1 to emerge as the Premier League champions. Now, to put this into context, Simon Cowell had the odds of 500 to 1 to become the next British Prime Minister. Now, you're probably wondering why I've got Gary Lineker here. Now, Gary Lineker used to have shares in Leicester City. He also used to play for them. And he said at the beginning of the 2015-2016 season that if Leicester City won the Premier League, then he would present Match of the Day in his underpants. So here he is presenting Match of the Day in his underpants. Now, Leicester City actually went on to win the Premier League. And this was, an amazing achievement. So put it into context, the Premier League was founded in 1992. And by the time we reached the 2015-2016 season, only 5 teams had been crowned champions. 4 of them were the really big financial juggernauts, Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester City. And the 5th team was Blackburn Rovers, who actually won the Premier League 3 years into its conception. So actually for Leicester City to go against those really big teams, I'm sure you're aware the amount of money that's paid out to these footballers in these big teams like Manchester United and Arsenal. It's much greater than the players that you've got in Leicester City. Now, for Leicester City to actually, get to the top of the league and to win, which is really what they're aspiring to do, they had to look beyond football. They had to look beyond their fitness, they had to look beyond their nutrition and their sleep and all the other things that you would think would be important to be a successful footballer. Actually, what they needed to look at was their team skills and their soft skills. Now, you're probably thinking, well, why is that really important? You've heard about soft skills, teachers talk about it from time to time. But actually, what are soft skills? So soft skills are interpersonal attributes that you need to succeed in the workplace. So in their case, on the football pitch, they are how you work with and relate to others. In other words, people skills, which I'm sure you have all heard of. Soft skills enable you to fit into the workplace. They include your personality, your attitude, flexibility, motivation and your manners. Now, we're often led to believe that GCSE and A-level results and your degrees are actually what's important, but actually for successful employment you often need really strong soft skills, because soft skills are the reason why employers decide whether to keep you or to promote you or even hire you. So here are some of the soft skills that you will be able to develop by doing the clubs at BHS. Now, you're also probably thinking, well, hang on a second, I think that I develop those in the classroom, and of course you do, but actually one of the best ways to develop your soft skills is actually by doing lots of co-curricular activities. Now, we're not just looking at soft skills, we're looking at working with different people as well, going outside your friendship group and doing something different. Now, back to Leicester City, they've got a really interesting team, particularly during that 2015-2016 season. Now, these 2 players, Jamie Vardy and Kasper Schmeichel, actually still play for the team. And they're interesting because they've come from really, really different backgrounds. Now, Jamie Vardy, who's one of their greatest goal scorers, he is from inner city Sheffield, and he is the son of a crane worker. So his dad was working on building sites. And there's a real strength of character about Jamie Vardy, because in 2012, only 3 years before they won the Premier League, he was actually playing for a 5th division club. Now, Kasper Schmeichel, you may know because his father was Peter Schmeichel, who was a goalie for Manchester United about 25-30 years ago. And so he had a much more affluent upbringing. Yet together, Jamie Vardy and Kasper Schmeichel actually really had to work together as a team to actually get to the top of the league. Now, we've talked about soft skills. Actually, what you also need is hard skills, and that's really the type of thing that you do in the classroom. So for the footballers of Leicester City, there's no doubt that their hard skills, that the thing that they've developed and the education and training that they've had is through football playing. So that's where their hard skills come in. But actually, you can only be so good if you've got really good hard skills. What you really need is soft skills to actually complement those harder skills. So Leicester went on and they won the cup. And it was actually because their manager looked away from the football pitch and actually looked to develop other skills within their workforce. Now, when we're talking about diversity, we've looked at Kasper Schmeichel and Jamie Vardy. You're thinking, well, really, is that also important? But what you'll find is employers are increasingly looking for diverse workforces. And research shows that by employing a really diverse workforce, people with different skills from different backgrounds who think differently, actually mean that the businesses tend to make better business decisions 87% of the time. They also make decisions twice as fast with half the number of meetings, and they deliver 60% better results. So this is all really interesting and actually helps you to get a better understanding of actually how Leicester City were quite so successful. Now, this year has been a really strange year, and unfortunately we haven't been able to offer all the clubs that we normally would, and actually most of the time you've been divided into year group clubs, but hopefully from September things are going to be a little bit different, and actually we're going to be able to mix you up again, and we're going to be able to have more clubs on offer. Now, the marketing department have put together this co-curricular video, which I guess that most of you haven't seen because you're already in the school, but actually it gives us a real flavour of some of the activities that we've got on offer. And I think, it's never too late to try something different. So we're going to have a little look at this video just to remind you of some of the amazing clubs that we've got on offer. So a really interesting range of clubs that we've got there. Now, we're going to listen to Erin, who some of you may remember was at Blackheath High about 3 years ago. And she's just going to tell us a little bit about actually what the clubs programme at BHS meant to her.
Being a part of clubs at Blackheath has really helped me in my uni career. I took a range of clubs during my time at school, and all of them have helped me both in my personal and professional life. Participating in music clubs like choir and glee allowed me to work with students in other years and gave me more confidence when it came to interacting with people I don't know that well. Netball Academy and being part of netball teams taught me essential skills in teamwork and communication and allowed me to join in with something I enjoyed both at school and at university. I have made lifelong friends that share similar interests, and some of which I've known since I was at school. Having a wider set of interests has opened up many possibilities for me and taught me some of the basic soft skills that are so important later in life.
Now, finally, I'd like you all to have your say on actually what you think about the co-curricular programme at Blackheath High School. So later on in the week, I will be sending around a questionnaire for you to complete on Firefly, and that's for me to get some feedback on actually what clubs that you would like to have on offer next year. Now, remember, the year we've just had isn't how it always should be, so do bear that in mind. But actually, if you've got any ideas for any clubs that you would like to run in the next academic year, here's your opportunity to let me know.